Hey guys, going on back again with another Vanguard video, and this is one that I've been meaning to make for the last couple of days or weeks. As you can tell, ever since probably Vanguard came out, there's been some issues with it, and so I want to talk about how I think in the long run, Vanguard Zombies, Darren Fang is going to be the best Zombies experience that probably Treyarch has ever put out, and I'm going to explain to you why. And to understand this, you would have probably have to been around since Black Ops 4 to know what went on with Black Ops 4. How, and I mentioned it before in another video that zombie YouTubers, the bigger channels, they have like this cycle that they go into, and I mentioned that, so I'm just gonna go over it briefly. I'm not gonna go too much in depth, and hopefully you can understand it anyways. So basically, we get like a new director of zombies. Everybody loves them. The maps are the greatest. Everybody makes money off them. People make money and stuff like that. Then, like the following game or the following year, or whatever, that they hate those devs and they want them fired. Treyarch should get rid of them. Activision should fire them. They're the worst devs ever. And then people make videos on that, and then they wish for a new director of zombies, and then when that new director comes, they wish for the old director back. It's just a ridiculous, stupid cycle that these content creators that don't know how to solve anything, don't know how to play the games. The only thing they know how to do is to make negative, toxic videos. So that's where we're at right now, and that's why I decided to kind of talk about this again. You might have seen me mention it briefly in other videos, but I do want to talk about how in the long run, because of what people are their perception of how Vanguard is, or maybe like I said, they're just spreading hate videos because they know that those make the most money for them, they get the most clicks and views. But if there's any truth to it, which is not, and that's why I'm using some Vanguard gameplay, is for the last couple of nights, every other night or so, I've been playing for at least like 4 hours, 6 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's not that bad. And then even yesterday, most recently, I played in public lobbies, and it went pretty well. It went really smoothly. The public, I guess what people will call randoms, um, I played in a public lobby with some randoms, and they did really well. They probably did better than me. I was probably the random as it is, and that's something that I want to talk about. Even how it relates to Warzone is the fact that um, you watch a lot of Twitch streamers that have like 30,000 viewers, 20,000 viewers. They might have like, I don't know if Twitch has like 1 million subscribers, but or followers, but some of those really big Twitch channels, you watch it how they play Warzone, and they're pretty terrible at Warzone. And then I hop into a game in a public lobby, and I get wins on my first 3 games, or my first game I would get a win. I did a solo, my first ever solo, I got a win. So it just goes to show, and I tell people I usually jump around different topics, so I'll eventually circle around back. But as far as like how content creators are perceived as the best people, or the best players or gamers, it's such the biggest lie ever told, I think, in the history of like video games. They're put on a pedestal for no reason, and it makes me think about cryptocurrency and NFTs. That like, there's a saying that they use, pump and dump, and it's a thing that Elon Musk does with Dogecoin and some of those cryptocurrencies, where they talk it up, make it a big game, everybody buys into it, and then he sells it off and then makes a ton of money on the downside of it. It's the same thing with these content creators. A lot of them got inflated or pumped up by Call of Duty and Treyarch. They got sent out, they got free merchandise, they get exclusives, but they're the worst people at the game. They're hands down the worst people at the game. They're bad at multiplayer, they're bad at Warzone. And again, like I said, Warzone players themselves aren't exactly the greatest because you see them struggle, they're raging. I know a lot of them run into hackers, so I'm not going to ignore that fact, but um, it goes to show that some of them are perceived as the best players. They have thousands of viewers, thousands of subscribers, but then there's some of them are the worst players because they get exclusives, they get like first crack at the map, the game, and stuff like that. But they're the worst at the game. There should be some type of incentive that Call of Duty, Treyarch should do, where like the best players should be the ones that get like the exclusive deals and stuff like that. But I think that's what kind of created the problem with the Zombies YouTubers is the fact that they're some of, if not the worst players of the game. That they, are perceived as the best players, but in actuality, like I said, they're not the best. They were put on a pedestal. They were pumped up by some of the studios, get exclusive deals, get flown out. And then when the bubble burst and kind of like you can't fake it anymore and they get exposed, the games get harder. They eventually get exposed, and so they end up crapping on the game because the game is exposing them. They need easy games with like 5 wonder weapons like Origins, Mob of the Dead, Shadows of Evil, and stuff like that. Or they need the ray gun. They need the ray gun. Everybody's crying for the ray gun now, that they need the ray gun, to save them. They can't play the game without the ray gun. Some of them admitted they can't go past round 8 or 9 in Duran Fang. And the other day, late at night, I got to round 20. Not to say that, like, again, that's the greatest, but like, it was pretty simple, easy. I wasn't even really trying. I got to round 20. With regular weapons, I think with a assault rifle or attack rifle, some of the like worst guns in the games, you can get to round 20 and they're complaining about it. So that they need the ray gun. The ray gun has to come back. And the reason I'm saying all this is because, being how difficult it is, or how bad they're making the game out, I think this might be the final game that to hopefully get rid of a lot of those zombie YouTubers. Again, the big channels that, thankfully they're not really putting out any content because they just don't know how to make content. They don't know how to solve stuff. They don't know how to look into the story. So we're lucky enough right now to have gotten rid of, I would say, maybe a quarter of them. I wouldn't say half of them, but most of them have left the zombie games and have not really made or played or talked about Duran Fang. So this might eventually, luckily or hopefully for Treyarch and Call of Duty, might be the straw that finally broke their back, that they just can't play games that are just too difficult. And the reason I mentioned Black Ops 4 before is the same thing that happened with Black Ops 4, that a lot of them swore they were leaving the Zombies community, leaving the game, never playing a Treyarch Zombies again. Jason Blundell was the worst. They need to fire Jason Blundell. All the same stuff that kind of we're going through now, like I said. So a lot of them swore they were never coming back. They made videos on their channel. Some of them are making those videos again because they're just bad at making content. How it's the end of the road for them with zombies. They're never coming back to zombies. It's over. But what happened with Cold War is Cold War was such a huge success and a big hit that eventually, the sad part of this whole story is they'll all eventually come back. And that's why I kind of love the way Treyarch writes stories, is the fact that they're right about cycles and stuff like that. No matter what you do or what they try, some of these toxic zombie YouTubers, they'll go away, but they'll always come back. And I hate to use the word like, certain diseases and stuff like that, that like you think you got rid of it, but it's going to always come back. So again, as some of the people probably know, if you don't follow the big channels, if you're not one of their simps, you're going to understand that like all they do is negative, toxic, hateful videos. Every year a game comes out, and that's why like people need to understand, and I hate to burst their bubbles, if Vanguard had a bunch of maps put in there, it had Zombie Chronicles 2, it had Transit, it has everything. Those toxic big channels are only going to make toxic videos because those generate the most views, and clickbaits generate the most views. And I tested that the other day and made a fake Transit Zombie Chronicles 2 video, and it's doing pretty well. And it's just so sad how predictive everything is, that like you can kind of predict how people are going to react to stuff, and they know it. The more negative the content, the more hateful the content, people are just going to click on it. And that's the same thing probably with this. I could title this like Treyarch's the worst studio ever. You know, they're shutting down Treyarch, and then I'm gonna get like tens of thousands of views. But if I put a nice title on it, you know, it's not gonna do that well. Which of course I get to tell people I'm not in it for the money, but uh, like I said, I hope people are understanding and seeing that, you know, hopefully if everything keeps going the way it does, because the reason I mentioned about the public lobbies and random, they're really good at the game. They're never gonna walk away from zombies or hate on zombies because they're good at the game. They're pretty well. Like I said, I played for like I think it was like 13 rounds in a public lobby, a random public lobby yesterday, and they did really well. Like I said, they do better than me, and I think I'm pretty good at the game. They were pretty much killing every zombie every time, even in the high rounds before could even get to most of the zombies. And it just, again, I hope people see the parallel or the comparison to Warzone, where I watch people struggle with Warzone, and I'm so scared to play Warzone because of them. And then I hop into my first game of solos, my first game of like quads or resurgence, and I end up getting wins on the first couple of games, like maybe even 2 games or 3 games. I get all wins. I'm like, this isn't that hard. It's not that difficult. I know people are gonna say, you know, there's skill-based matchmaking, there's this and there's that. They're gonna have every excuse in the book. But in the long run, like and the last thing I'm gonna say is, I don't know if anybody from Activision, Call of Duty, Treyarch's gonna watch this, but like the last thing I'm gonna say, it reminds me about like maybe Shaquille O'Neal being horrible at free throws and horrible at 3 pointers. He's only good at dunking and maybe defense. But like, I don't understand why Treyarch Call of Duty tries to model the game after what like the 10 worst people in Call of Duty at the game are at Zombies. Like it would be like the NBA getting rid of the 3 point line, NBA getting rid of the foul line because Shaq can't hit a free throw, Shaq can't hit a 3 pointer, Shaq can't hit a jump shot. It would be like the NBA changing basketball to only dunks during the Shaquille O'Neal era, or maybe like if another example on the other end of the spectrum, Curry only knows to hit 3 pointers. It would be getting rid of dunks because Curry can only hit three. Let's model the NBA after Steph Curry, and we can only have 3 pointers here on out. Nobody can dunk. If you dunk, it's a, you know, a turnover or a layup. A layup might count, but you can't dunk because dunking. Actually, that's how the NBA was, I think, in original days. Only a couple people could dunk, so they outlawed the dunk. It wasn't fair, but eventually everybody got to dunk and knew how to dunk and stuff like that. But it makes me again think about the zombie YouTubers that like they're so bad at the game that they want Call of Duty Treyarch, and it happened. I understand it happened in World War II. They changed a lot of stuff because the game was too difficult for the big content creators. But like I said, it's silly to try and change anything if they're only gonna put out negative content anyways. It it would be nice if, you know, in a perfect world that you do change stuff and they end up liking it. But no matter what they do, they're just gonna end up crapping all over it because it's all about money. And I think that's the thing too. YouTube was never supposed to be like everyone's uh, main job or first job. It was supposed to be like a side gig for some extra cash, or there was never money involved in it. But now that it's so easy to pump out content and clickbait people that everybody's doing it now. It's their main job. Nobody takes regular jobs anymore. Nobody's working fast food. Nobody is working at Walmart probably or whatever. But it just goes to show again that we might get lucky, and that's the whole point of this, that we might end up getting rid of a lot of these negative, toxic people, which I know we won't because all of it is just BS. They're just, again, making fake negative content to fairmonger people and stuff like that. But on the bright side, if they do really hate the game, this might be the thing that finally got rid of most of them. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys later.